Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning when you happen to see this video. Continuing the reading from Mr. Bert Hellinger's book, Philosophy of Being, Rising in Love. This is on page 36, Orders of Love Between Parents and Children and Within a Group. I'm going to reread what our parents give us. It's in the last video, but I'm rereading it again because I think it's very interesting. Parents do not just give us our life, they nourish us, educate us, protect us, care for us, and give us a home. It is appropriate that we take these gifts as they are given to us. So we tell our parents, I take all that you give me with love. Accepting it with love and gratitude is also a form of balance because the parents feel appreciated and honored that way. Then they give with even greater joy. When we take from our parents in this way, we feel as a rule that it is enough. There are exceptions, of course, as we all know. It may not always be as much as we want or exactly what we wish for, but as a rule, it is enough. When a child has grown up, the child says to the parent, I have received much from you, and it is enough. I will take it with me into my life. Then the child feels rich and content and can say, the rest I will do myself. The rest I will do myself. This too is a good sentence. It helps the child to become independent. There is another sentence the child may add. And now I leave you in peace. And now I leave you in peace. Then the child is separated from the parents, yet still has the parents, and the parents still have the child. On the other hand, when the child tells the parents, you still owe me more, the parents' hearts close up. From then on, they can't give as freely and happily because of the child's demands. Neither can the child accept what is given unless the demands are surrendered. When children insist on their demands, they cannot become independent as the demand itself binds them to their parents. These children cannot leave their parents, and their parents do not have their child. What belongs to our parents? In addition to what the parents are and what they give, they also have something that they have earned for themselves in terms of gain or loss. This belongs only to them. Children partake of it incidentally, but parents cannot pass it on to their children, and children cannot take it from their parents. This is our own fortune, which we alone are masters of. When a child takes over the good fortune or entitlements belonging to her parents without earning them through her own efforts and her own experiences and pain, do her sense of entitlement and demands ever have foundation? Giving and taking in the service of family life become reversed when a child appropriates an earlier illness, obligation, injustice, or guilt suffered by a parent as if it were his own. He takes what is not his. Such guilt or illness, obligation or injustice belongs to the previous person. It is that person, it is that person's fate and responsibility, a part of his or her life and dignity, and it has, when it is accepted, a particular strength and benefit. Then this person can pass on this goodness, but without the price that was paid for it. When a person born later takes on something bad for a person who was born before. Even out of love, the younger meddles in the most personal fate of the elder and takes away the dignity and strength that goes with bearing such a fate. What remains is an entanglement for both. The price is taken on without the experience itself, and the experience is tainted by an additional sense of guilt about the one who carries what is not his. Arrogance. The order of giving and taking is turned on its head when one born later in a family tries to give to an elder, as if this younger one were equal or even superior, instead of accepting what is given by the elder, and in so doing, honoring this person. An example of this is when parents take from their children, and children want to give to their parents what the parents could not take from their own parents or partners. When this happens, it is as if parents become children and children become parents. Instead of flowing naturally from above, from above to below. Giving and taking are imagined to flow upwards instead of from above to below. It flows upwards from below to above. Giving and taking are imagined to flow upwards against gravity. But a stream cannot flow uphill, and such giving never reaches its true destination. A woman in a group I was working with had a mother who was blind and a father who was deaf. The two parents were well matched, but the daughter felt that she had to carry responsibility for them and look after them. I put up a constellation to bring the hidden truth to light. During the constellation, the daughter behaved as if she was a grown up and her parents were small. However, the mother said to the daughter, I can manage with your father. The father said, I can manage with your mother. We do not need your help. When the woman heard this, she was very disappointed. She was reduced to being the child. The woman couldn't sleep well that night, and the next day she asked me if I could help her. I told her, a person who can't sleep well is often trying to keep watch over others. Then I told her a story by the German writer Borchardt about a young boy in Berlin after the war who kept watch over his dead brother so that the rats wouldn't eat him. The child was totally exhausted, but he felt he had to stay awake. Then a friendly man walked over to him and said, Don't you know the rats sleep at night? After that, the child slept. The woman also slept better that night. When a child disregards the order of giving and taking, she usually punishes herself severely, often with failure or defeat, without knowing about the guilt or understanding the reason. By giving and taking what is not hers to give or take, she disregards the order, albeit out of love. She does not understand that this is inappropriate, but imagines she is doing a good thing. The order cannot be manipulated by love, for prior to love, there is a sense of balance at work in the soul that asserts the right order of love, even at the price of happiness or life itself. For this reason, the struggle of love to rise above the order is the beginning and end of all tragedy. There is only one way out: to understand the order and accept it with love. Understanding the order is wisdom, and submitting to it with love is humility. the community of fate. Parents and children together form a group of fate in which they are all dependent upon each other in a variety of ways. Each has to contribute according to their ability to the well being of the others. Everyone gives and takes. Even children give to their parents eventually, when the parents are old and need looking after, for example. Here, parents have the right to ask and to receive what their children give. That's what I wanted to say about the order of love between parents and children. Kith and Kin, family and friends. Together with our parents, we also belong to those who belong not only to our parents, but also to a kinship group made up of our parents, each of whom brings with them their kith and kin, family and friends. The kinship group behaves as though held together by a binding force and a sense of order and balance that acts equally on all members. Whoever is drawn in and counted as a member by this sense of order and balance belongs to this kinship group. Who is not drawn in and affected by it does not belong. The scope of influence of this force tell us who can be counted as a part of the group. Generally speaking, the following belong. First, 1. Children and their siblings, including those who are dead or were stillborn, who were aborted or were miscarried. Also, those born out of wedlock and siblings on father's or mother's side only. 2. Parents and their siblings, including all the ones mentioned above. 3. Grandparents, well, including all the ones mentioned above, the ones that are dead or were stillborn, the ones who were aborted or miscarried, and those born out of wedlock and siblings on father's or mother's side only. Grandparents, 3. Grandparents, occasionally a sibling of theirs. 4. Sometimes one or other of the great grandparents. 5. And people unrelated by blood who have made way for others to enter the kinship group, such as earlier partners or parents. And anyone who, through misfortune or death, has given advantage to others in the group. 6. Those members of the kinship group who killed someone or were killed, and their respective victims or murderers from either the same kinship group or another. The ties of kinship. The members of the kinship group are bound together as a community of fate, in that the traumatic fate of any member will affect everyone and prompt them to share in it. To share in it. For example, one of the siblings in a family dies early. Others may want to follow him, this sibling. Also, parents or grandparents may sometimes want to die because they wish to follow a dead child or grandchild. Or if one marriage partner dies, the other may wish to die too. The living say inwardly to the dead, I will follow you. Many of those who experience a life threatening illness, such as cancer, or who have serious accidents, or who are in danger of suicide, are in the grasp of a fateful kinship bond and say inwardly, I will follow you. Closely connected with this movement is the belief that one person can stand in for another, which means that as a stand in, one person can take the suffering, atonement, and death of the other, and thereby release the other from his or her heavy fate. The inward sentence behind this is rather me than you. When, for instance, a child sees that a member of her kinship group is seriously ill, she says inwardly, I will be sick instead of you. Or when a child sees that someone has brought a heavy guilt upon themselves for which they must atone, the child will say, I will atone for you. Or when the child perceives that one of the parents or some other close family member wants to leave or to die, the child will say inwardly, better I disappear than you. Remarkably, it is the younger members of the kinship group who most often wish to suffer, atone, or die in place of someone else. Such wishful substitution may also occur between members of a couple. It should be noted that this process occurs largely on an unconscious level. Neither those who are meant to benefit from this act nor those who attempt it are aware of what is happening. Nevertheless, if we can come to understand this process, we may have a chance of freeing ourselves from it. Such entanglements can be brought to light rather impressively if we set up a family constellation. Thank you very much. We will continue with completeness. Thank you. Until the next video. Thank you very much. Thank you.